I'm so pleased to welcome to UK Black Men Talk Show for the first time on the show, an amazing, inspirational DJ on Supreme FM, a warm UK Black Men Talk Show, Supreme FM. Welcome to DJ TLC. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Good morning, and thank you very much. Thank you very much for inviting me on.
And thanks for agreeing to come on the show, because this is what it's all about, having black men come on the show to talk about topics that are important in the community globally. So, DJ TLC, not sure if you know about the traditional check-in that we have here on UK Black Men Talk Show.
No, actually I don't, but please let me know.
Yes, I will enlighten you. The check-in is, I ask you for a number from 1 to 10 of how you're feeling. 5 is aligned, and over 5 you're feeling in a great space. Word as well. What word comes to mind of how you're feeling right now in this moment?
I'd say my number would be 6. Yeah, 6.
6, and what's your word?
My word is cold.
You're cold, yes. Before we start, I'm going to play a 1-minute clip for our listeners around this topic of prostate, and then we're going to get straight to the conversation. For everyone listening, just a short intro. So now I have a live conversation with our very own DJ TLC. Your story, because I was going to ask you about the whole being a DJ, but this is about the prostate. So just to start with this conversation, it's a difficult conversation, DJ TLC, and I wanted to ask you about your journey. I wanted to also ask about some myths that a lot of men have around this topic, and I am also aware that some people don't even think it should be a topic discussed in public. So there's so many different areas for the prostate conversation. Where would you like to start?
I suppose we can start at the beginning. In my journey started 2010, I'd say. In relation to, I've never, and to be perfectly honest, previously to my own personal journey, I didn't even actually know what a prostate gland was prior to that. As a grown man in his 40s, did not know what a prostate gland was. I had absolutely no idea. I was experiencing urinating, going to the toilet, and a feeling of like when you want to go in, your bladder, your bladder's full, but you're not urinating to the full potential, or not being able to finish it. And I put it down to, if I'm going to be totally honest, I put it down to maybe because of the lifestyle, DJ nightlife, drinking, alcohol, etc., etc. I put it down to that, and was kind of like put it to the back of my mind, if I'm going to be honest. Didn't really as focused on it, and I think that that's a lot of men. I was going to say black men, but men in general, when it comes to health issues, tend to put those things to the back of their minds and think, oh, it's all right, it will work itself out or sort itself out. Thereafter, this continued for a while. So I wasn't showing the classic symptoms, but then I remember I was traveling on the train or something. I can't remember, and I saw a pamphlet regarding prostate cancer, and I read up on it, and sort of like made me think about what was going on with me, and so I eventually booked an appointment with my GP, who was very discouraging at the time. As I said to you, I was in my 40s, and 46, I think I'm not mistaken. And he would say to, Mr. Taff, why are you here? Why are you asking about prostate? He goes, this doesn't affect men until they're into their late 60s, early 70s.
Oh, so yes, the doctor was not So seen
Yeah, he
any
was very,
alerts? Yes.
yeah, he was very, he wasn't, he's like this, why are you, but I was insistent because, like, as I said before, I read this pamphlet and I was exhibiting some of this and just concern.
Hmm.
And I was insistent that for him to uh, give me the test, uh, at the time. So, and once again, just as the clip that you played, it's not the examination, not a physical examination, it's a blood test.
Hmm.
So I
Yes.
then took the blood test, and he reluctantly gave me the blood test. I took the blood test, and it came back. Um, it was slightly high. So he said, "Okay, what we'll do is that we'll give it another 5 to 6 weeks, and then we'll try it again." And I did that, and it came back higher than it was when I had the initial test. So
Uh-huh.
um, the doctor said, "Well, maybe there's something to be looked into. I'm going to send you for a biopsy." Um, I took the biopsy, and then, obviously, coming back from the biopsy, they said that they found on the gland, on one side of the gland, there was
Uh-huh.
sprinkles of cancer.
Wow. Yeah.
Which this news was very shocking, as you can imagine.
Yes.
Um, and once again, being fairly healthy for the most of my life,
Yeah.
you know, to find out that you discover that you've contracted cancer, it was a blow. But what was really the definitive information or part was that the doctor said to me, the consultant at the hospital said, what's happened is that they had three categories, like low, medium, high type of thing,
Yes.
and they said that it was low, and there were ways that we could deal with it. Ultimately, you know, he was pushing for a prostatectomy because things have gone on, things have really changed since then. So I just wanted to
Uh-huh.
let every man or anybody that's listening out there who can relay this message, things have changed since that since those days. So their process was to remove the prostate gland itself,
Right.
and
Stick.
so I had to process all this information, um, and kind of like come to terms with, and then find out as much as I could
Hmm. Yeah.
about what was the process of the actual surgery, which was what was suggested. There were other treatments,
Yes.
um, but they hadn't been at the time. They were more of an experimental type of thing. Um, so they were more um, heading or more trying to encourage me to have the operation. So,
Right.
and I'll be perfectly honest with you,
Uh-huh.
and with the public, right? It took me 10 months to make the decision, and I was only able to do that
Oh.
because it was at a low, and they were monitoring me to have my prostate removed because that was and it's every individual's their decision to make. You can have the observation, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken, they
Uh-huh.
can observe it, keep on monitoring you.
Right.
But yeah,
Yes. So it's
so
monitored over time.
yeah, yeah. So I had the prostatectomy, which is the removal of the prostate gland.
Hmm.
Um, they took it out and I checked the gland to see if because sometimes it doesn't contain itself in the actual gland, and this is the problem. It comes out of the gland, and it can affect other areas. It can affect other areas of your
Uh-huh.
body. Your bones, kidney, liver, all different parts of your body. So that's the reason why they advise for the removal of the gland.
So that was to
Um,
protect things from growing and spreading.
yeah, yeah, from
Right.
from it spreading.
Yes.
Because another thing as well, they don't know why, but um, the younger you are,
Hmm.
right? Um, so within the ages of say 45 and 55,
Uh-huh.
right? Whereas it can start off to be very low, right? It can just change and become very aggressive. They don't know why that sort of like age between them, because when you if you have prostate gland in your 70s, for example, late 60s, 70s,
Uh-huh.
um, you're more likely to die of something else
Oh, right. Yeah.
because the spread of the cancer I believe, and like I said, I'm not a doctor, so I'm just giving you. I believe that testosterone is what fuels the cells to mutate the cells, and like I said, please do your own research. I'm just giving you my take on it. And
Yeah.
as you get older, you produce less testosterone as a man, so it tends to the cancer doesn't grow as fast as it would do if you was a normal in a normal age group, which is what I mentioned between say 45 and 55. But it can become very aggressive, so it can spin from one extreme to the other. That is the reason why you're advised to have your prostate gland removed.
Yeah. We're here talking with DJ TLC about his prostate cancer journey. And I want to also take this opportunity to say to you, sir, thanks as well for being open, because this is going to help people listening as well. And when we do come back after the break, I'm going to be asking some questions, some common questions that men have. And I'm just listening to you and it's moving me, because I'm just thinking of you not even like not having any information at the time about what was happening to you and doing your own research. Just sitting with that for a moment, because that must have been a really scary time for you as well.
100%, 100%. And so I understand, when men are faced with this, or anybody that's faced with any sort of like illness, information is the key, and it's to just to help you process and understand. If if decisions have to be made, and I'm always open and happy to, which I have been doing over the years, just
Hmm.
to explain, like we're having this conversation now, and to explain to people and let them know. Every journey is obviously is subject to the individual, but for somebody who's been through it, it
Hmm.
can sort of like alleviate some issues they may have or worries. That's really why I'm so happy to share.
Yes, because it will help other men as well. And the questions people have are coming through actually. And we're going to come back after the break so we can sit with it and give this conversation the time that it deserves. And also to say to each and everyone at the end of this conversation, there will be contact details, and you guys can contact the show as well. And we're just here to support. We're here to support because too many people are losing their lives with prostate cancer. So DJ TLC, we're going to go to the break and just checking in with you. How are you feeling right now? Just want to
I'm
check in
still
with you.
cold.
You're cold, cold. It is a cold.
I need to put the heating on. That's what I need to do.
So messages are coming through, and that's a good thing. I think I was just worried today and wondering how people are going to receive the conversation, and a lot of things are happening for people out here right now. And to think of illnesses, people sometimes want to just put it aside. Having this conversation in a way that will invite men to go and get tested, look into it. So for now, thanks DJ TLC. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back, everyone. We're having the prostate conversation with DJ TLC. Welcome.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Thanks again, and people are messaging in. Really thankful for you sharing as well. I just want to go to you first, how you're feeling, and continue, and then I will share some of the questions with you.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
feeling pretty alright at the moment. As I said before, weather is a key element.
Yes. Because how it must have been isolating you not having any information, and you also just what you mentioned as well with your GP, because of the age you were at, the GP wasn't encouraging you to necessarily go and get a test. All of those areas, I think, really resonating with people who are listening right now.
Um,
Yeah.
just to sort of like reiterate what I was saying, the whole GP thing was I should say interesting to say that, because as I said to you before, prior to that, I didn't know I didn't know of anybody that had prostate cancer. In fact, never ever even knew about prostate cancer. If I'm going to be totally honest. And then you're flooded with my journey. And I have to say this. I have to give my flowers. I can't remember. I actually cannot remember the name of the nurse. And she still works at hospital. She's still in the department. Was very a black lady, a black nurse who was very instrumental in the department, encouraging. And we sat down one day, and she was saying to me, and she said to me, "Look around." Right. She's giving me the sort of like the facts, and she said to me, "I work here. There are, I think at the time, there were 6 nurses who were in that department dealing with. I forgot the exact because I don't want to sort of like misquote exact amount of patients per week or per day that came in for checks, and the volume." She said to me, "If there's 6 nurses and we're dealing with 10 men a week, right, regarding prostate cancer, because you crunch the numbers, and how many is that during the course of a calendar year? How many men are dealing with prostate cancer?" And that's when it hit me, the amount of men. And then subsequently, since then, I've realised that so many men, right, have contract prostate cancer, and in some cases are unaware that they have it.
Yes.
Right, and don't seek help. And the reason why I speak on when anybody asks me questions or anything of like your platform today, and I'm happy to lend, my voice or whatever my experience is, be it my journey, because it may, in one shape or form, there might be somebody out here listening who will say to their partner, because sometimes with men, they don't. You and I were discussing earlier regarding health.
Yes.
And why social media, which is a vehicle which gets out so much information, when it comes to things that are important, we don't seem to take too much notice of it, and we tend to concentrate on the frivolous things, the more entertaining things. And just like I choose this analogy for a man. If you got a car, all right,
Yeah.
you anybody that's a car enthusiast will know that they take their car to get it serviced. If there's a problem, they go take it to a mechanic to get it fixed, and they do that and spare no cost in what they spend, right? But with your own personal health, we'll put it aside, and deteriorate. And then I always say this, and I'm sorry to be sort of like really emphasize this: men, you're selfish. You're being so selfish, right? You have mothers, wives, girlfriends, people who love you, children who love you and want you to be around, right? And because of your own selfishness, won't get yourself checked, right? Because once again, as I said to you before, and I cannot stress this anymore, if caught early, right, it can be treated.
That's important.
That's it. It's as simple as that. If caught early, it can be treated, and I don't, it makes no sense to me why you would wait until the appointed. My mother used to always say to you, wait till the appointed time, right? And then because of your embarrassment. I don't know if you and I don't mean to sound like I'm being harsh. Embarrassment or what you've heard the exams about, and rectal examinations and so forth, etc., etc. And even if that is the case, right, you will be uncomfortable for, I don't know, what we're talking about, 6 minutes,
Right.
5 minutes of uncomfortability, just, and they do rectal. If they do a rectal examination, it's just to see the size of the prostate, because that's the way they can tell how big it is or how small it is. So you're uncomfortable for maybe 3 to 4 minutes if they have to do that, and it's not, they don't always have to do that, because now I get to understand they do have an MRI scan. So there's lots of things that have gone on since I contracted prostate cancer.
Yes.
So anyway, I'm sorry, I'm ranting now. So let me just.
We're absorbing what you're saying. We're absorbing what you're saying, and it's making sense. It's making sense. So for people listening out there, I know that it's a difficult area for men. You made so many points there, because there are men who think, okay, nothing's wrong with them. They don't have any symptoms. It's just that even the testing. So let me ask you this question: the PSA, the testing to test the levels, the simple blood test. That's the initial. Isn't it the initial?
That's the initial, yeah.
Right.
And it's not an accurate. What the PSA it looks for things in the blood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it give them an indication as to there might be something wrong for further investigation. Your PSA level is supposed to be 0.01. It's supposed to be very, very low, right? If you test and your PSA level comes back in double digits, like 10 or 11, then there's always, and it doesn't necessarily, and this is another thing I need to emphasize as well, sorry, is it doesn't necessarily mean that you have cancer, right? You can have enlarged prostate. These are all things that it's called, when they're investigating. So please don't take it on board and think to yourself, there are men who have enlarged prostates, and the symptoms are very similar. As regards to whether it's cancerous or not, you have to get tested. That is more important than anything else, to put your mind at ease.
To get tested.
Because it doesn't necessarily mean it's cancer. You could have a large prostate. It could be an infection. It could be all number of things that it could be. It doesn't necessarily mean it's cancer.
Yes.
But if it is cancer, then if it's caught early, like I said, I'm 13 years right down the line, I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? And I'd like to emphasize that as a testament to say that, I had prostate cancer and I'm still here to pass the message on, for want of a better word.
That's powerful, and that answers one of the listeners' questions. That's 13 years. DJ TLC is here with us and we're having this conversation. So that really is encouraging for people listening as well.
The journey, like any illness, there are things that, you have to contend with, right? And there's lots of things that, I don't know how in depth you'd like me to go. And whilst we're speaking about it, I mean, there is the sexual side of it.